Hey y'all, welcome in, welcome in. As you come in, please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. I would appreciate it. Do a collective energy reading. I know for some of you this transition, this energy is a little bit intense. It's that Aries energy, keeps you, gets you going, and that is, it's pretty much, in a state to where we need to be mindful of our energy, make sure we're balancing, because we do have to have the Libra balance, and this is Libra season. So we got to balance our masculine and feminine, balance our 3D life with our spiritual life. But I did pre-shuffle some oracle cards, and I'm going to show you the two that came out. One was on the bottom, which I always pull from the bottom after I shuffle the deck, which is usually subconscious. But 11, belief, came out. The frequency of belief supports our sense of self-worth based on our gifts and talents and a strong connection to source. See if I can get it to where it's, I got a lot of lights, so it's, as you can tell, the energy's a little shaky. All right. The card that actually came out when I shuffled, and this is the, I can't believe I cannot think of what this deck is called. I used to use this one all the time. But 25 emergence, which equals a 7, came out. The frequency of emergence invites us to approach our reality with a childlike attitude of innocence and wonderment, and to watch and celebrate the beauty that unfolds from that place. This is the card that came out. So a lot of you, are transmuting energy right now. A lot of you are stepping into your gifts and talents, embracing the Aries energy, full energy, taking a leap of faith, understanding your own self-worth now, being able to embrace your gifts and your talents, knowing you have that connection with source. And this emergence card is we're allowing that inner child to come out, the healed inner child, the one that we've been working on, the one that we've been working on for quite a while, the wounded child. This next deck I'm going to use for a clarifier is a numerology oracle deck. The bottom was health, which is 8, because I already pre-shuffled the deck, but we're going to see what guidance we receive for this belief, which is an 11. A lot of you can be seeing 11s, 11, 11, 1, 1, 1. You can also be seeing 7s, 2s, 5s. There's also a 5 over here that was on the bottom of the deck, communication. Frequency of communication supports our ability to exchange information in many different forms. It reminds us to run every piece of information, both incoming and outgoing, through our heart, the center of our truth, to stay in the flow of source and balance exchange. So like I was talking about Libra energy with Libra balance. Let's see what clarity we need at this time with this energy. What's being released? What are we being asked to embrace? The energy, which to me, I feel like it's just saying, just look at things from a childlike perspective. When you were younger, everything was possible. And now that we've healed a lot of that and done a lot of the inner child work, it's easier to step back into that. But we do have some things, however, I shouldn't say that, I should say however. Sorry, they corrected me. However, um, there are some belief systems that may still be blocking at this time. But I feel like that's what this energy is right now, is that our bodies are acting in certain ways because we're releasing some of these old belief systems, these things that were told to us as children, or things that we witnessed growing up, and then we interpreted that with a childlike state. But we've all, a lot of us are at this space to where we understand the connection to our inner child, and we've healed a lot of those inner childhood wounds. Okay, I got 3 that jumped out. Physical activity, compassion, and pride. 67, 99, and 19. These are all purple, so it's all crown chakra. That one equals a 4. This one equals a 10, so that's a completion. And that one equals a 9, so right there at completion. I mean, 9's pretty much completion because 1 is the start. We start back over with 1. But physical activity, compassion, and pride are the 3 that came out. So, and what I got, physical activity, that one there, embracing. With this childlike attitude, when we were kids, I know myself personally, I spent outside, if I can talk, and slow down, Aries energy. When I was a kid, that's all we had was outside. We had outside and boom boxes, we'd listen to Casey Kasem's top 40 or whatever, that was what I had growing up. And physical activity, we loved it. We loved going outside and playing and using our imagination. And a lot of us are changing our belief systems as well based on these things too. What was our belief system about physical activity, and what was our belief system about compassion or pride, and with this one being a 10 equaling a 10, it's a 19 equals a 10. A lot of us have completed this portion. As far as pride on the negative side, the side that is a more lower vibration, but now embracing that part, the higher vibration of pride within ourselves, and knowing that we've done the work, having the compassion for ourselves and for others, understanding that we're all on one point of this spiritual journey. Some of you that resonate with me are pretty much in the same area on the timeline. Others of you are on different parts of the timeline. But with this child, I'm doing this with a childlike attitude, and then embracing your gifts and talents. Some of you may be coaches regarding having to do with the physical side, the physical body. And we're also being asked as well, if we're not incorporating physical activity into our everyday lives, that's something that we do need to look at and address and work on as these transits happen, especially because October there's going to be 2 major ones with the eclipses. So what parts are we going to eclipse out, and what parts are we going to embrace? But I feel like with those 3, those are the 3 that we are being asked to embrace at this time. On the bottom of the deck is a 14, which equals a 5, moderation. and that's green. That's heart chakra. There's also green in this communication card as well, and that's also a 5. We've got 2 5s over here on the bottom of the deck, and to me, the bottom represents our subconscious, things we may not be aware of. I'll shuffle this a couple more times, and then I'm going to clarify, get a couple more clarifiers from the Soul's Journey deck. Just give us a little bit more into this. Also, with communication moderation, that can be, limiting your communication as far as, knowing when to engage and when to not engage, having good boundaries in every aspect of your life. Having those boundaries with others, and but within self. If you have those boundaries within self, then that energy is projected. And then there also may be an aspect to where you're having to communicate, some boundaries, or communicate where you have changed some things in your life, like, let's say you used to drink and now you don't, or you don't drink as much, so you have limited, that aspect, or, anything like that, anything, shopping, anything. And that can be what that is as well. And with those being both 5s, it's a change, and there may be some that we have to communicate with about certain moderations, certain things, boundaries that we're putting in place that we may get a little pushback on. But that's expected. That's expected on this journey. Bottom of the deck on this Soul's Journey is Judgment. It's also purple. There is a lot of purple on the board, and green, so crown and heart chakra. Amethyst stones, any type of purple stone would be good right now. Or anything that is green. If you use a lot of crystals or bracelets, those would be good to incorporate right now into your everyday practices, or just, you can also tuck them in your pockets. But let's see, because we've got Judgment here on the bottom, which I'm going to put that one there next to the belief. Judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique paths and challenges. So we have this understanding that everyone has their own belief systems about things, people, places, or things. Everyone does. And courage. Another purple card. A lot of crown chakra on the board, guys. And I feel with this, a lot of you have been getting these downloads. That's the courage card. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. And this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the video, beginning of the stream, where I was talking about a lot of us are utilizing this Aries energy to step into what this card says, our gifts and our talents. Being courageous, knowing within self. Because it says inner strength, face fear with confidence. Know that you have these gifts and talents, and you're meant to use these gifts and talents. Being compassionate with yourself and others, and that goes along with that Judgment energy as well. Don't be so judgmental on yourself about whatever, you've gone through, the lessons that you've learned thus far, because they are lessons. If there's a way that you can kind of just step away from the emotional attachment to whatever the belief system is, or the whatever it may be, just know that we all have our own unique path and challenges. But every single one of us has been through something in some way, shape, or form, and that's where that compassion comes in. Having the ability to understand self and what triggers you have, and then understanding and placing appropriate boundaries, with others that have certain things going on. And a lot of us are dealing with the separation aspects too, separating away from people, places, things that no longer serve our highest good. I'm also getting over here with this communicating, um, like limiting your communication, only saying what you feel needs to be said, doing more listening than speaking. And we got health on the bottom here. That flew out. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. And I feel like that one goes with the physical activity. That's also green. We have a lot of green and purple both. And another one on the bottom. Purpose. I know what I am here to do. Man, guys, there is so much purple on this. So much crown chakra. Crown chakra, heart chakra. A lot of you may be going through a heart chakra awakening. A lot of downloads going on, for sure, for sure. A lot of you have been in hermit mode and you're just stepping into this emergence energy, this Aries. Because, when we switched over the nodes to the Aries North and Libra South node, we have, the action portion from the Aries energy, but we also have the balance from the Libra energy. So I feel like that, that's definitely one, because that was what was in the live last night, was talking about balancing, your spiritual life with your 3D life, and creating more productive, to yourself, productive activities, things that are for your highest good, instead of, worrying about others. Or what their, because that's an old belief system, what their judgment may be of you if you step into your power, if you step into your gifts and talents, and you're out there, YouTube, or any social media platform, releasing that fear of judgment, possibly. But like I said, this is what we are embracing right now, things that we are stepping into. And some of this, because it immediately went earlier when I pre-shuffled and on the energy for the collective and looked, the bottom of the deck, and that was the belief card. Immediately I got there were some beliefs that they're finally being released. And I feel like some of it can be this, some of it can be this. This may have been a lot of your all's belief systems. I know it was one of mine, fear of judgment of others, or what others are going to think or say or do, or, any of that kind of stuff. But that's something that I believe, because, just how I was raised, and then what I believed as a child, created that fear within me, about judgment of other people. And that was something that I had to change and transmute. And I feel like that's a collective energy that some of you are also dealing with. And that's why a lot of us are stepping into, our path and purpose, embracing our gifts and our talents, having the courage, to step out and say, okay, you know what? I know this is my purpose. I know this is what I'm meant to do. Um, giving of self, being open to help others on this path and this journey, because, there's a lot going on right now. And I know all of you are aware of this. And I know a lot of you are feeling this, these energy shakeups that we've got going on. And I feel like, with this physical activity and this health, if there's anything that you're changing, within your life, a lot of you can be changing your eating habits, your activities, maybe going for more walks, being out in nature more, um, doing certain exercises, maybe yoga, anything like that. Um, a lot of you can be embracing this as well during this time, because everything that we did before, we're changing. We're changing into the version of ourselves that we truly are, our true self, our true authentic being. And I feel like I said, that with all this purple on the board, this is crown chakra. So a lot of you are also getting these downloads about these things. Hey, maybe we need to do something about this. Maybe we need to look at some more physical activities. Um, we need to be more compassionate with ourselves. What are we telling ourselves? What storylines are we saying to ourselves? And when we talk to ourselves, are we being compassionate, or are we bringing up old belief systems? The old self is trying to interject. Same with the pride card. Just it's all about just being compassionate with yourself and being able to look at yourself with a compassionate eye and say, you know what, this was something that I had to work on, the lower vibration of pride. But now I'm proud of myself because I did the work. I've looked at myself, I've gone within, and I've delved to the depths to find out, what these different belief systems were, what these inner wounds were. Um, and I've worked on those, and I've made the proper judgments within myself. And that also helps us to connect with others. That helps us to see from the other side, see what other people, what other challenges they are going through, because we've experienced a lot of those ourselves. And it can also be like, here with these two fives and change, I feel like, that as well, with communication and moderation. And that's more Libra energy, balance, learning when is the right time to communicate certain things, following your intuitive guidance, following what you're feeling within yourself. Your body will tell you if you're feeling drawn, to do something, and to follow that, to be courageous, to have that enthusiasm as a child is super important right now. And to know that everything that is changing, guys, I'm sure a lot of you understand this already, just because a lot of you are a little you're on your path to where you've done a lot of healing, and you are embracing these new changes. You're not seeing these changes as a things are happening to me type deal. You're seeing them as things are happening for me. So whatever changes are going to come, you're allowing. We're allowing those changes to come because we know that what's on the other side is for our highest good. So whatever has to fall away, whatever has to change, with these double fives here, whatever has to change, we are more open and allowing for that to happen, because we want to step in to our path and purpose. We want to create change. We want to be in that childlike energy, um, see things more compassionately. And if we do all these things within ourselves, then we then can assist others, because we've done the healing. We've done all of those things that we needed to embrace. And I know, guys, I'm sure for a lot of you, as it was with myself, a lot of things were pretty intense, especially this past couple years. Um, Lots of changes happening, lots of old junk just coming out, releasing, transmuting it, changing it, changing the way that we discuss things with other people, changing our story. What are we telling ourselves? But more importantly, what are we telling others? Because if we're still telling the same story that we told way back when, which is our older, our unawakened self, or our self, I'm trying to think what's the appropriate way to put that. When we were in the energy of blindfolders still on, still in the things happening to me, not for me state. Um, Now we're not in that space, but we're able to be more compassionate and understanding of others that are. Because ultimately it is free will. It is our choice. So I feel like, what needed to come out came out in the energy reading. I will be doing more lives. I'm going to start incorporating more recorded videos for individual signs, but we are all signs, just different places in our charts. That's why for a while, I haven't done individual signs. I did do it on TikTok, a little quick individual sign reading, and I may do that again. I do like going live, though, because it cuts out a lot of the other stuff that needs to be done, but I will do some individuals, whether it be TikTok or like I used to do on here for some of the individual signs. But my focus right now is mainly on the collective energy, the transits that we're going through. We're in Libra season. We have the Aries moon, and we're having those solar and lunar eclipses coming up this month. There's going to be lots of things we're releasing. And, the final, I'm getting final purge energy. Because I know, we want to move forward, guys. And with all this crown chakra energy, you're going to be getting downloads, and a lot of them. The main thing, be compassionate with yourself. You're in the space to where you have regained your self-worth. You know who you are. So just, be moderate. Moderation can apply to many things in our lives, from daily activities to daily patterns to addictions or anything like that. Just be moderate. But I feel like with that communication, it's just being mindful of your communication, what you're telling yourself, what you're telling others. Um, the bottom line of that communication card says to stay in the flow of source and balance exchange. So Libra energy, equal give and take. Don't overgive. But I feel like a lot of you are already aware, of these things, because these are all things that we've been working on and healing. But yeah, that's the message I have for you guys today. I hope that it assisted some of you. If it does not resonate, it may resonate at a later time. These readings are not time sensitive, in the essence that, you can go back a year ago and watch a video and it may resonate with you now. That happens to me quite often with certain readers. because time is it was created by man anyway, so it doesn't really apply. It's whenever you are on this stage of your journey that this will resonate with you. Same with me. I'm a part of this collective that I read for. So anytime I do a reading, there's always a resonance there. I know that the messages are for myself as well. Um, so I appreciate you guys. I thank you for coming in, spend a little bit of time with me. Please hit like, share, and subscribe if you feel like you need to do so. I thank you guys again very much for spending time with me. And I wish you guys to have a beautiful day.